frustration there, but looking pretty sharp here to begin with.
He's there.
And a wild pitch. Runner will score. And Lubbock Baseball Academy is on the board. Score now 1-0. So we've got one down. Started off the inning, and if I remember right, Kevin, it was we had an error out there in the field, right?
Man, I was half paying attention, but we had a pass ball, I think, and that got the runner to move over to second.
So one out. I believe that was a ground ball over to Cooper Harvoth. So fielded down over at third. Throw across the field for first out. And number 11 getting away with a walk right there. So Townsend stepping out there across the dish, communicating to his infield how he wants to handle that runner over at first. So now runners first and third. 1-0 count. That's Garcia for the Lubbock Baseball Academy, taking strike. And catch with some good lateral movement right there, keeping the ball in front of him. It is a hot and smoky one out here. Little dribbler, this one to second base. And the boys run two. How about that? That's right. MacNSeitz coming up with a double play right there. And I have to admit, I thought, man, we were going to maybe miss out on that because second base didn't charge the ball, but very wisely waiting for it and making a nice scoop right over, waiting for Votaw, who came across second base and makes a nice throw over to first for a double play. Well, that'll get us out of the inning, fortunately, but not before the Lubbock Baseball Academy goes up and puts us down 1-0.
So the boys had a little bit of work to do here in this part of the inning.
Yeah, and I think we've had base runners in each of the first two innings, and so I think with some of that, what we were talking about maybe just before the game, the boys have been looking better at the plate, getting the ball in play, and just like Brooks Carr, not getting a strong swing on it, but just getting that ball into play gives an opportunity for an error, a misstep, a something, or maybe a little Charlie hustle getting through first base, and so that gave us a little bit of life, but we were not able to move those runners over from first and second, getting into over to home plate. And so it'll be interesting to see if we end up playing some small ball at any point in time. I know that oftentimes when you've got a tight one and nobody's really kind of just, hacking the ball right off the cover, or the cover right off the ball, you'd like to see maybe just trying to get that first run across the plate. And I'd like to see us maybe put that ball in play. What do you think?
I think that's not a bad plan. I think generally I'd like to see a little bit more pressure from the runners, a little bit more aggressive leads, a little bit more of a fight in the base running here, because it seems like with a little bit of pressure we might be able to force these guys to play a little out of their comfort zone.
100%, and really up to this point, catch has not been challenged. And I think at least interestingly so, I thought there was at least one opportunity that I was really surprised we didn't try to steal. But nevertheless, getting base runners on, and so I think what we're going to try to do here is let Harrison Perkins lead off and see if he can't get some mojo going.
We'll get a little bit of speed on the base path in Harrison there, which is nice right before we turn the corner and back to the top of the lineup.
100%, and that oftentimes can become one of those RBI opportunities that, of course, we're all looking for. This is still number 5, I think Beckham. No, it's number 11. My apologies. Let me take a look here. And, again, I don't have the Lubbock Baseball Academy roster right in front of me.
No game changers, no help. I just got a big old number 11 for the pitcher with no name. So
yeah. And so that is, it looks like number 11, maybe Perez. Yeah, that's Perez up there on the bump. And I can't tell, but I don't think is that the same pitcher that started the game?
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I thought it was Cotton that started the game, which was number 5. And so a pitching change here, and I think that it'll be really interesting to see how we handle pitching going through this tournament. You know, obviously a 4-game guarantee. If you have some luck getting into some further bracket play, pitching can certainly become one of those strategy things. Big swing and a miss by number 7, Perkins, for an 0-1 count. A little chopper, this one over to third, handled cleanly, and an errant throw. So that good hustle, and oh my goodness, he should definitely get over to second, as the first baseman impeded his ability to go ahead and run.
A little slip in the dry dirt out there caused a missed opportunity there too, I think.
Yeah, a little bit, and I don't think there was anything intentional by Lubbock at all, but a little slip by Perkins, and then that first baseman coming across trying to field that errant throw.
Speaking of which, our first baseman stepping into the box now. Miles Vaughn steps in.
So Miles, a big lefty, has some good power when he's able to put that bat on the ball. Hasn't hit it strong here early in summer, but I'm telling you, I've seen this kid hit, and he really is a good hitter. So would be great to see him get something going.
Yeah, he's got some natural, easy power, is the way I would describe it. He's not swinging out of his shoes, just a nice, smooth swing, and the ball just goes.
100%. And so we've got some good speed out there on first. Good lead by Perkins. And a timeout called by Vaughn. So a couple pitches in, Perkins still has not challenged him yet. I know if he gets that green light, he's going. Big foul ball out of play left side. And that'll put Vaughn down now 1-2. Or 2-2. I'll catch up to this count one of these days. Pickoff attempt over there at first. Perkins back up safely, no problem. And you figure maybe just an extra step.
Oh, yeah.
Clean hit, right side.
Yeah, drops in for a base hit.
Nice job, Miles.
Looks like they're dialing back the aggression on the base path, and it turns out to be a smart move there. That right fielder got the ball in quick.
Absolutely. Big hard hit, but nice to see Vaughn get something going there. And that'll put runners on first and second, and still nobody down. So this will come back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, and do we try to move some people around? Back to the top of our lineup, this is number 4, Alex Kilman.
Dry bunt attempt, yep. There we go. Looked like we might have had a missed sign there, I think.
Fancy's runners out.
And Kilman showing bunt, pulls it back as it's wide right. Catch is able to get a glove on the ball and keep that from getting away. Showing bunt again, but once again pulling it back. It's interesting looking at some of the youth pitching, and I know that's one of the strategies that some teams will use, and that is just showing bunt and trying to get into that head of the pitcher who just struggles as a batter's now squared around on him.
Yeah, and nice protection. I mean, as the parent of a catcher, you know, it blocks the line of vision for the catcher and helps to make a little bit of a time delay before he sees that runner taking off on second, too. So if we can get bunt attempt timed with a good jump on a steal here, we might be in business.
Showing bunt again. And that'll be good for ball 4. That'll load the bases for number 13 and Ryder Vota.
Prime opportunity here for us to pick up a run here. Something with a little depth to it should get us one across.
So just in time for the meat of our lineup right here. And still nobody down. Perez continued to work from the stretch. Has pretty consistently been over that outside half of the plate and struggling to get it over. Starts with the ball to Vota.
So new pitcher here for Lubbock, not quite as in the zone as the first pitcher was. He's dancing a little bit more around the zone here, trying to see if he can make something happen.
Yep, and the Lubbock Baseball Academy coach wanting to confer with his pitcher, just check on him, see how things are going. Catcher joins him up there on the bump, and got to imagine he's just talking about how he's feeling and trying to give him some encouragement. Doesn't look like he's getting ready to pull him. Nobody working in the bullpen. And so just a short visit. So Lubbock up still 1-0, but MacNSeitz threatening here with the bases loaded. Nobody down.
Healthy hack, but foul there.
Definitely some good contact, and sometimes that can be just the confidence builder you need to get something going. See if he can't square that away and find some green grass. Ball in play. This one over to short. They're going to try to turn 2 out at second and safe by a mile at first. So Ryder does a job and puts MacNSeitz on the board with the fielder's choice. That'll put runners on the corners for number 27, Tucker Lee. So score all even up right now, and Lee with an RBI opportunity. Trying to put MacNSeitz in the lead. Big swing and a miss. Chasing that one up just a bit high.
I thought that might have been the cover Parker needed to get on second, but not quite enough of a jump there to take advantage.
Vota goes, ball in play, right to short. Oh, and it hits Vota in the base pass. So if you don't know and you get hit as a base runner, that is an automatic out. But that'll be 2 down and an RBI for Lee.
I'm going to jump out here and go film again here.
You bet, 100%. So there's some talk over here on the field. Looks like Lubbock Baseball Academy coach talking to the umpire, and now Jake Sawyer for MacNSeitz out there talking with the umpire down the third base line. So maybe a little contest there about what the actual ruling was, but just to kind of review for everybody, it looked like Lee put the ball in play over to second base, and as Vota made his way from first to second, was hit by the ball. Oh, and so Vaughn does not score. That's where we're at. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if at the point that it hits the runner, it becomes a dead ball. But that is certainly not what I was anticipating. Thought Lee was getting that RBI, but that's bringing up number 3-6, Boston Townsend. Runner down to second, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, Miles!
So that will finally give MacNSeitz the lead. So Miles Vaughn showing that characteristic speed that he's known for, making his way down across home plate as the throw went down to second on the steal. And that was Cooper McCowan pinch running for Tucker Lee, or courtesy running rather. So a little bit confusing, but to kind of recap here, I guess that was a dead ball when they called Ryder Votaw out. And they made Miles Vaughn return to third. But on the steal attempt, he's able to come across the plate.
You're all on it now.
So Cooper McCowan able to make his way down to second. A possible RBI opportunity for Townsend. And a ball up high. Tell you what, it is just still as still can be. I felt like earlier there was maybe a little bit more of a breeze, but pretty still, very hot, and quiet out here on the fields today. Good glove by the catcher, saving a base. And Townsend wisely laying off. Wild pitch.
Good job, Coop.
That is off the glove of Ketch, and Cooper McCowan is able to make his way over to third. So MacNSeitz looking to add to that margin. Now up 2-1.
Here we go, Boston. Come on, B.
High pop-up. Shortstop looking to field it. And barely holds on to that one. Off the heel of the glove, and he's able to haul it in. That'll do it for us in the top of the third, but not before MacNSeitz is able to get up 2-1. So a quick audio break. We'll leave you with a little Sweet Caroline. All right, and that brings us to bottom of the third. MacNSeitz sticks with Lee out there on the bump. Score 2-1.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Starts off with an off speed for strike one.
There we go. Hey, I'm back.
And that is number 0, Carrillo, for Lubbock up at the plate. Takes a ball in high.
We got MacNSeitz.
This
Ball in play over to second base. Bobbled the ball, and runner will reach on air. Been a tough day over there at second base for Seabass, but characteristically a good fielder, strong with the glove, and has a good arm. Every now and then you kind of let that creep into the back of your head, and you kind of struggle with it, but be good to get him a good plate appearance, let him kind of clear his head out of all that. But runner on first, nobody down. Fastball for strike one, and I tell you, I haven't even been looking at the velocity here on our pocket radar.
I'm so new to this, I didn't even know to look. So, I'm here watching it, going, hearing the pop of the glove and judging the velocity that way.
No doubt. Swing and a miss. And now a 1-2 count. Lee takes a look over at first, working from the stretch. And gets him swinging. And one down.
I got to imagine at some point they're going to try to see what the catcher's arm is like here and try to take a bag on us. So
you would think so. And looking over there, once again, that's 0 over on first. Really modest lead, right? And I certainly wouldn't want to be testing Boston's arm with a modest lead like that, but maybe he's not a speedster. But, when it's such a close matchup, gosh, a huge advantage to get over and get that force out of the infield.
They're in the back half of their lineup. Maybe it's just a safety measure here. Keep them on, get to the top of their lineup, move them over that way.
Absolutely, and some great glove work by Boston right there. Good frame up, outer half of the plate. So good location for Lee. And this one right to second, getting ready to roll 2. 1, oh, and we got it. Oh, he came back down, and MacNSeitz once again coming up with a double play.
Second double play of the game for the boys.
Yeah, we talked about that at the top, and I think one of the things that we said is we need to clean a little bit more fieldly and field a little more cleanly. And, obviously we ended up with a small error over there that ended up with a base runner. But you know what? He made up for it right on the very next play.
He was able to avenge himself there and got into a nice ground ball in that situation, got the advantageous count for us, and then got the ground ball to turn the 2.
So good glove and great footwork to get that throw off quickly. And Votaw screaming across. His throw coming in a little bit high, but Miles showing that athleticism.
He's got those mad ups, that kid there.
That's right, getting up there and bringing it back down just before the runner coming across. So it's fun to watch these boys compete and well-played games. And obviously we had a couple of distressing games there early. But, the boys really hadn't even been on a field together as a team other than one time before we started tournament play. And so about half the team knew to each other. And I think MacNSeitz running, 2 teams. And so we did a little bit of a shake-up and stuff like that, but kind of molding 2 teams together. And I think the boys are responding well, and I think that they're beginning to kind of gel as a unit and as a team. And we're still seeing lots of substitutions kind of in and out, seeing guys play different positions, and I think that's kind of what summer ball's about.
Yeah, I think it's a good new coach, too, right, for us here, and trying to get a sense for what each of the boys brings to the table, what the right rhythm is in the batting lineup, and then these guys just need to learn to trust each other. So they got to make some tough plays. They got to get a little bit of that experience to gain that trust. So third tournament into the season, and you're starting to see a little bit more of that.
100%, and that's number 1, Cooper Harvoth, leading off for MacNSeitz. He takes one down the pipe for strike 1. High fly ball, this one left side. And the left fielder holds that one in for out number 1.
Contact. Here we go, Brooks.
So some good solid contact for Harvoth. Got a little bit under it. And that ball is able to carry for an easy out. That'll bring up number 5, Brooks Carr. Remember on his last at-bat, he's able to just kind of uncharacteristically just kind of reaching out, getting that bat on the ball and putting it in play, and was able to hustle through, and first baseman not able to handle it, so he was able to get on base. See what he's able to do here. Takes that first pitch for ball number 1. All right, so 3 pitches, 3 balls, and you got to imagine Brooks Carr is going to be pretty patient here.
Yeah, early in the season, looks like our guys are straight taking on a 3-0 count here. Let the pitcher put them on, and now we'll get into attack mode here. 3-1, still an advantageous count for our hitter.
And last pitch for ball 4. That will take Brooks down to first base and bring up number 18, Parker Simons. Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of strategy to what you do in any specific count. And I know that there's a couple of different schools of thought on a 3-0 count. You know, my thought for so long going in and playing anything under 14U is like, man, that's a home run ball. I just want to see kids hit. I don't care if it's over the plate. I don't care if it's a little bit high, a little bit out, a little in. Let's just kind of hammer it, right? And, you know, as these pitchers get better and they're able to dial it in a little bit, it's oftentimes advantageous to be a little bit more patient and still try to get that pitch you're looking for.
Yeah, right now it's a good strategy, too, to get our opposing pitcher's pitch count up a little bit, too, make them throw a little bit more. In this case, we're not necessarily looking to rush them out of the game, but with some of those guys that are throwing gas, they're going to be all around the plate and make them bring it to you before you start giving them too much of a helping hand, taking a daddy hack on something that's low and away.
You bet. And Perez up there still working on the bump for the Lubbock Baseball Academy. Has shown a little bit of a struggle last inning and this inning. Will be interesting to see how long he's able to kind of stick in the game, but Simon's showing some patience here, looking for his pitch. That one off the end of the bat for foul, and that'll load up the count.
Brooks is staying pretty close to the bag over at first, too, not getting too much of an aggressive lead here. So right now I'm assuming the steal's not on, and we're looking for the outfield hit to move our runner.
This one down in the dirt. And maybe I've got my count wrong. I thought that was the full count, so looks like that will make it a full count. But on that one down in the dirt, Brooks is able to advance over to second. Good to see him ready and on the ball.
Ball 4.
And Simons with ball 4. So Perez with back-to-back walks. And let's see if MacNSeitz can capitalize on it. That's going to bring up number 10, Sebastian Wingrove. Waiting on deck, Harrison Perkins. And no real activity from the dugout from Lubbock. So a good-looking pitch right there. Seabass misses it, just misses it with the foul ball.
Hey, just missed it. Just missed it.
So 2 pitches, 2 fouls, and now an 0-2 count. Turns on that one, takes it down to the third base line, but it is foul. So getting the bat on 3 different pitches.
All over the zone. He's covering a lot of territory there with his swing.
Wild pitch, gets away from catch, and runners will advance over to second and third.
Now we just got to put it in play, get it run.
Wingrove wisely laying off that one. Now 1-2 count. So just 1 down, but you got 2 strikes, so bunt's out of play here.
Looking for something hard on the right side, I'm suspecting.
There you go.
And battles,
Fight and see.
continues to battle. That one on the inside hands, and still able to get the bat on it.
Hit anything here now.
You know, it's these close games that I think that we've struggled with a bit, so it'd be good to kind of open this one up a little bit. Swing and a miss, and tough AB for Wingrove. That'll be 2 down.
If we can stay strong defensively, I think we can hang in this game. Offensively, we've been answering back pretty well the last few games right now. When our pitchers are getting really good run support, we tend towards a little bit more errors in the field than we don't necessarily do our pitchers much in the early season. But we're starting, like you were saying at the beginning of the broadcast, it's starting to turn around. The last few games, we've been seeing a lot more solid defense and a lot paired with a lot more active offense.
Yeah, and just getting those bats going, right? You know, getting that ball in play and all that. But 2 pitches, 2 balls for Perez, and now 3-0 count. So Perez still struggling a bit. See the Lubbock Baseball Academy coach kind of looking out to his field. And off-speed pitch, that one down the middle for strike 1. So going back to what you were saying on that 3-0 take, and Perez has been able to battle back on that a couple of times now. I think it's just trying to be patient and find that one that's right there in that zone. And do their us to kind of miss that, but that is number 12, Espino, and I'm probably butchering that name. I do apologize. Number 27, Tuck Lee, trying to help himself out.
I'll be all right with that. So I'm gonna stay in and just watch.
Of a double by Lee in this particular context.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice point, though, too. I think stats at this level tend to be a little bit more about conversation than about quality. You know, like it's the stats, and even recruiters are not super interested in seeing the players' stats. We're quantifying the.
Ooh, and a strike three call. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and another one down.
Against us, so nice to know the zone is nice.
About whether it's interesting kind of watching him because obviously Tuck's my son, but not throwing with that characteristic. Cooper Harvoth smokes one down.
Right now, it seems like we're taking advantage of the slight uptick in velocity we're seeing from this pitcher and driving the ball just a little bit deeper into the grass this time and moving our guys a little more efficiently.
It is interesting how the slower velocity we tend to kind of struggle with, but if guys are throwing hard fastballs, we're able to hit that, and we've seen that.
Takes one on the shoulder there.
Not able to get out of the way of that one, and that'll move Simons over to first on a hit by pitch.
I think you also accurately called the small ball move here that we saw to open this inning up with bunting our runner over to third base there. Just a tight game, 1-run game. Every run counts, so we'll trade an out for a runner in scoring position with that small ball.
You bet. And it looks like this is going to be Cooper McCown's first AB. So another lefty in the lineup here.
Here we go, Cooper.
So runners on the corners. Nobody holding him on at first. He's taking a liberal lead over there. Runner goes. And hit and run, I guess, was on because McCown was swinging away. So he fouls that one off, and Simons will have to return back over to first. Now 1-1 count. A lot of times you'll see the coach call for a take on that. Squares around for a bunt, pulls that back, and now runners over at second.
Yeah, trying to see if he can incite that throw to second, potentially score that runner from third that way. Good catcher, doesn't bite.
All right. Here we go, Cooper. Go for us.
High fly ball. It's going to be a little bit shallow, and it drops. A little bit of confusion and communication.
Cooper, good hustle.
And it's really hard to call that. I don't know if that's a reach on air and a miscommunication, but there were two players right there where the ball came down. In my opinion, I feel like that has to go down as a reach on air, but regardless, MacNSeitz is able to bring another one across the plate, and now we still have just one down and a runner on third.
I'm not sure who you attribute the error to as the scorekeeper there. I mean, the center fielder's ball all day, I guess, just based on location.
Well, it looked like he had kind of called for it, and so the shortstop kind of backed off, or was that the second baseman? I'm not sure, but yeah, and then they just kind of stood there and stared at each other as it hit the ground. Another high fly ball, this one in the infield. First baseman calling for it. He's able to collect that for out number 2. And so what do we have? Is that a 4-2 game now?
It is 4-2. That is correct. 4-2, and we're in the top of the 6th at the moment. 2 outs, and Miles Vaughn coming to the plate.
4-2 contest. So, quick audio break here, folks. And once again, thanks for joining us, and make sure you leave a like if you've been watching us.
It was fun.
Okay, and now that'll take us to bottom of the 6th. MacNSeitz now looks to Cooper Harvoth to close things out. And obviously we still have one more inning left, but I don't know where we're at on the time limit here.
Not exactly sure what time we started. I feel like we started a little bit late. And we're approaching 5:15. Our original scheduled game time was supposed to be 3:15, but I don't think we started till a little closer to 3:30.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times they'll call that out. If they did so, I was probably messing with his equipment here early on and whatnot. But Cooper Harvoth missing just outside.
Heat proving to be the gremlin in the works today. Getting inside of every little camera and causing a little extra sweat and
Missing.
Here we go, boys.
Missing.
Here we go, boys.
it's not giving.
And now out of the inning just like that.
And out of the game it's looking like, so we must have missed